Welcome back to Community BattleCast PrimeTime. I'm your host Doomtanker. In this episode, we've got all your news, mods, and fan art. So let's rock. With E3 this week, we hoped that maybe some news for Generals 2 would have come out. According to EA's official press release, however, Generals 2 ain't on the list. Hopefully Victory Games will show it off sometime soon. We do have a few things for Tiberium Alliance, since that's the title that seems to be getting the most press lately. The official trailer for the arrival of the Brotherhood of Nod has been posted up on YouTube, showing off what seems to be a mix of both CNC 3 and 4 units. You can check out the video here. Tiberium Alliance has gone gold. It's now out of beta and is available to players around the world in 11 different languages. So if you haven't chosen your side or your server, this is a fun little browser game, better than playing Farmville any day. Tiberium Alliance is supported in the following languages: English, German, Dutch, French, Italian, Polish, Brazilian, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, and Turkish. In a quote from their official announcement, it doesn't mean that development of Tiberium Alliance is finished. We are already planning and developing countless new features, including improvements to the attack and defense unit, a world map providing a better overview, and let's not forget a mobile version of Tiberium Alliance for the smartphone and tablet PC. Now, a mobile version would actually be kind of interesting to see, and the ability to take the latest Command and Conquer anywhere would be fun. You can read the full post on the official website. 2 new servers, one for the US East Coast and one for Europe, have gone live for the game. So if you want to try out a different side, or it's getting a little crowded on your current server, now you have a new place to play. If you're a member of GameReplays.org and you haven't heard about the recent break-in, you should head on over to the site for all the details, just to be safe and change your password too. For those of you who haven't heard about GameReplays.org, they were recently breached by a hacker who leaked a bunch of account information onto the web. You can check out the official post on their website and also check out the post regarding fake emails about the break-in. For those of you who still play Yuri's Revenge online, you'll be glad to learn that XWIS team, who's done an amazing job keeping some of the classic CNCs alive, has updated the quick match feature for Yuri's Revenge. You can check out the official article on their site now.
If you remember last episode, we talked about a CNC4 map competition. Well, it has since been concluded and a winner has been announced. We don't want to give away the winner, so hit the link and you can check out the full post, which includes a breakdown of the map scores. And don't forget to grab the maps while you're there.
And now it's time for the mod spotlight. Once again, we got plenty of mods to cover, so let's get going. Rise of OMNIUS is a currently in development mod for Tiberian Sun. Taking place after Firestorm, GDI is evacuating what's left of humanity to Space Colony, while the Brotherhood of Nod struggles to rebuild itself after the chaos of Kane's death. Now a new Messiah has risen up to reunite Nod and lead the final Tiberium war for Earth. This one definitely looks interesting, and it sounds interesting too, so it's definitely adding to your watch list. The fan favorite Red Alert 3 Paradox has updated their image gallery nearly every day for the past week. One of the most notable of these mini updates is the gap generators, which may have been giving the team some problems. Project REGENESIS is a mod for Tiberium Wars, bringing back the classic flavor of the original Command & Conquer in the Tiberium Wars engine. This one's fun and definitely worth a look. For those of you who have been looking forward to Advanced Wars Frontline, the total conversion for Red Alert 3, you'll be happy to know they made quite a few new maps over the past couple weeks. Another in development mod, but still worth a look, is Moscow's Vengeance. It's a mod for Red Alert 2, and it looks like adding a lot to the game. Intended to do what Westwood wanted to do and try to link the Red Alert and the Tiberium universes, this mod has some great potential. European Conflict is a mod for 0 Hour, adding 3 new factions to the fray: the Western European Alliance, the United Asian Nations, and the American Confederacy. A lot of high-tech units, 2 sub-factions for each, and a lot of fun. This one's definitely worth a download. Blitz 2 is a World War II total conversion for 0 Hour, bringing the World War II factions of the Allies, Germany, and the USSR to your computer. If you're into historical action, this one's definitely worth a look. You guys remember Rise of the Reds? You know, that mod that usually gets spotlighted on here almost every other episode. Well, they put out a pretty big update in the form of a new version, which is 1.7. They update quite a few things, including a complete revamp of the GLA. There's even a trailer. You can check it out on YouTube. And of course, you can pick up the latest version of this mod on their database page.
Welcome to the BattleCast 3. I'm your host, Cyber, and Game 1 is Thor, aka Google, as the Reds USA Super General in the South versus XCal, the Purple GLA Stealth General in the North of Tournament Desert on General 0 Hour. Google tries to gain an early advantage by using a Chinook to fly a dozer to XCal's supply line, but XCal destroys the dozer with minimal losses. XCal then sets up a defensive line of tunnel networks and expands to the middle to collect supplies from there. Google does his best to hammer back XCal with a combination of Humvees, missile defenders, and Aurora bombers, even going so far as to get a particle cannon and taking out an arms dealer. XCal has lost much of his base, but he sets out to avenge it. He does heavy damage to Google before a last-minute fuel air bomb destroys XCal's forces. Not to be deterred, XCal drops down a secret tunnel entrance at the back of Google's base and tears it up. Google leaves the game to fight another day. Moving on to our second match, we're entering the world of Kane's Wrath on the map Tournament Rift. Our contenders are Hydraulic, the blue Marked of Kane, and Dutch, the red GDI. Hydraulic wastes no time in getting this game underway with an unusual opening that calls for Tiberium Troopers, 3 engineers, and an air tower. Hydraulic calls for transport and is able to take 3 of the Tiberium spikes, but fails to take the 4th. Hydraulic pushes forward with his MCV, but not to expand. He's instead going for an obelisk on Dutch's base. Hydraulic builds another MCV and starts putting the herd on Dutch with 2 obelisks at a time. Dutch is in real trouble until his pitbulls swing around and destroy Hydraulic's harvesters and then go for the tech lab. Dutch manages to clean out his base and both players sit back to recover from the insane beginning. Dutch expands to the blue field, techs up, and starts building an army. He sends them into Hydraulic's base, and as the railgun upgrade finishes, they finish mopping up Hydraulic. Moving on to Snowplow and Red Alert 3, we have in the top left position MBR.TO as the Green Soviets, and as the Orange Empire we have Eminence in the bottom right side. Eminence opens with a mecha bay followed by a sudden transport and then a mecha Tengu for support. His attack gets completely locked down by MBR. MBR doesn't immediately press his advantage. He instead sits back, expands, and begins building an army of hammer tanks, bullfrogs, twin blades, and conscripts. He rolls into Eminence's base again and again, but always evacuates before taking too much damage from Eminence's well-microed wave force artillery. MBR needs another asset to his army to really crush Eminence, but what could he get? Oh yeah, he could get a Dreadnought. His Dreadnought finishes just in time to be completely destroyed by Eureka, who is then killed off by his twin blades before Eureka can get the naval yard. After being unable to overcome MBR for so long, Eminence has no choice but to throw in the towel. And that's your 3 for this episode.
And now it's time for community fan art. nodsoldiergirl and I have been searching through DA and all the rest of the internet to find you a heap of fan art. The first one comes from SighNapse of this Hunter remake from CNC4. Next 2 come from Diamond00744, and they're remakes of the original Nod and GDI logos from Command & Conquer. These are very highly detailed and amazing looking. The next 3 I found were pretty funny, so I had to add a little humor to this show. Next one comes from Panda203, and the Soviets are deploying their new weapon, and it begins with a Next is from Ayuzan of the VG Cats in RA2. And last but not least, I know there's probably at least one brony who watches this show, so this one's for you. Yuri's probably wondering if his psychic powers will work on a pony in this funny piece by Psychroculus. And unfortunately, that wraps up another episode of Community BattleCast PrimeTime. As per usual, leave your feedback in the comments below or on the forums. And if you have fan art, news, or anything Command & Conquer you want to share with the community, feel free to reach nodsoldiergirl at her email at nodsoldiergirl@hotmail.com. Also, if you want to join the BattleCast Alliance and Tiberium Alliance, look me up. I play on the West Coast server as, what else? The Brotherhood. And we'll see you guys on the battlefield.